Hello everyone, welcome to St. Joseph's tutorial. This is your Anthony, English teacher. We have been discussing about active voice and passive voice. Now I'm quite sure that you know what is an active voice and what is passive voice and what are the rules that we have to keep in our mind while we convert from active to passive. And also we know when are the circumstances that we need to use active and then passive. The following things are very essential that we need to keep in our mind, then it will be easy for us to convert from active to passive. Number one is that we need to identify the tense. There are three main tenses. One is present and past and future. In present, we need to identify which kinds of present tense it is, whether it is simple present or present continuous or present perfect. Likewise, in past also, we need to identify whether it is simple past or past continuous or past perfect. And in future also we need to identify whether it is simple future or future perfect. Second point is that we need to identify the subject in the given sentence. We have to identify whether it is singular or plural. Like he is the example for singular subject and they is the plural subject here. Third one, we need to identify the object in the given sentence. There we need to identify the object is singular or plural. Then we need to use correct form of auxiliaries, that is be form, have form and do form. Be form like am, is, was or were. Have form has, have and had. Do form do, does, did and done. And also we should be well known about verb and its forms V1, V2, V3, that is base form, past form, then past participle. Then we have to keep all the structures in our mind. What is simple present structure? What is present continuous structure? What is the structure for present perfect negative? All those things that we have to store in our mind. Now we are going to see simple future and its examples. What will be the structure or formula of active voice for simple future? First we have to use subject plus will or shall plus first form of verb, that is V1, then the object. This is the structure for active voice. Then what will be the structure for passive voice? Object, then will be or shall be plus third form of verb, that is V3, PPT, past participle, followed by the preposition by, then the subject. It is the structure for passive voice simple future. Here we can notice the examples over here. First sentence, he will eat the oranges. Here structure is that subject, then will have used, then V1, then the object. How to convert this one to passive form? As we all have known very well that the object of the active voice becomes the subject in the passive form. So I will take here the oranges, then will be third form for eat is eaten, followed by the preposition by, then subjective pronoun, that is he becomes him. Second sentence, he will play cricket. Here also subject he, then will, then V1, then object. Here we have to use the object of active voice becomes the subject. So I'll take cricket, will be followed by V3, that is play, played, played. So V3 is that played for play, followed by the preposition, that is by, then the subjective pronoun he becomes him in the passive form. Third sentence, you will take T is the structure or is the example for simple future. So T has to come first in the passive form as subject. So T will be taken by him. Take, took, and third form is taken. Then the subjective pronoun he becomes him in the objective pronoun. Next one, how to convert or what will be the structure for simple future negative? First we need to use the subject, then will not plus V1, then the object. Here we see that the subject is the students, that is the subject. Will not, that is a verb. Will not clean is the verb. Then object is the clean is the room. Here the classrooms is an object that has to come as a subject in the passive form. So I used the classrooms will not be cleaned by the students. Second sentence, she will not fill the dustbin with garbage. Here what will be the structure here? That is she. Then will not, the will is form of verb, whether it is auxiliary, the modal verb, then followed by negative word not, then fill is the main verb, or we can say principal verb, then dust bin with garbage is the object. Here dustbin will not be filled with garbage by her. Here you can see that first I used dustbin will not be filled with garbage by her, that is she becomes her, subjective pronoun she becomes her in the passive form. Next one, how to convert simple future interrogative. Before we moving on to that, we will see that what will be the structure for interrogative simple future. First we have to use will, or you can use shall, followed by subject plus V1, that is base form, then object, then question mark. Whenever we are talking about interrogative, we should keep question mark over there at the end of each sentence in interrogative. So will, shall plus V1 plus object plus question mark. Then how to convert this active to passive form? First we have to use the question word, that is will, followed by the object cricket, then be, then third form, that is past participle, followed by the preposition, that is by, then objective pronoun becomes the subjective pronoun in the passive form, that is him. Third sentence and second sentence also will be same over here. We have to follow what we have followed in the first sentence, that has to be applied in the second and third sentence too. Next one, we will be moving on to future perfect positive. So what will be the structure for future perfect positive? First we have to use the subject, that is doer of an action, or we can say an agent, or we can say performer of an action, followed by will or shall have plus third form of verb, then object. So we have been saying object, object. What will be that object? What is an object? As we have seen and we know that object is the receiver of an action. For example, I'll give you, I rub the board. Here I is the doer of an action. Then what action I'm doing? That is rubbing, that is rub is an action word. Who is receiving the work from me? That is the board. So board is the receiver of an action. So that is called as object. Then verb, actual word, subject, frequently I'm saying doer of an action or an agent. Then how to convert? While we are converting from active to passive, what will be the structure for future perfect passive form? So the subject of the active voice becomes the object. Then we have to use a will or shall, have plus been plus V3 followed by the preposition, then the subject. That is the structure for future perfect. Let us see the examples here. Future perfect positive. He will have played cricket. So we can apply over here the structure as it is given in the below sentence. So cricket, first we have to use the object as subject in the passive form. So I'll use cricket will have been played by him. The second sentence also will be followed as it is how we have followed for the first sentence. Finally, we'll see the future perfect negative. What will be the structure? So it is very easy to remember the structure. Just you can write it once. You can go through all the structures. Definitely it will be easy for us to identify what is the sentence or what will be the tense it is, if you are well known about the structures or formula of each tenses, 12 tenses. First one is that subject plus will or shall plus not, have plus V3. Whenever we are talking about perfect tense, present perfect or past perfect or future perfect, then we have to use a have form. At the same time we have to use V3, that is past participle. Example I'll give you, go first form, went second form, gone third form. Play first form, second form played, and third form also played. Sometimes we will notice that all three forms will be same. For example, cut, 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 put, put, put. Sometimes all three forms will be different. Example, speak, spoke, spoke, and then spoken. Second sentence, you can second one, write, wrote, and then written. Write, wrote, and written. Here above all three verbs will have three different forms. So these kind of things we have to be known very well. Come to the future perfect negative. First one is a negative active voice. How to convert this active to passive? First we have to use the object of the active voice to become the subject in the passive form. So the head shows will, not. So after will or shall, immediately have to use the negative word, that is not, followed by have been, then V3. Choose, chose, then chosen. So third form is that chosen for the first form of the verb choose. The second sentence also, he will not have caught a small bird. Here subject is he, then will not, will is the auxiliary form, then not negative word, have caught is verb, then a small bird is an object. So how to convert? What will be the object here? As small bird. It has to come first in the passive form. So as small bird, then will, then not, have, been, caught is the third form for the first form catch. Catch, caught, caught, followed by the preposition, that is by, then he is subject, that becomes the object pronoun, that is him. Next one is that future perfect interrogative. Structure, you can see that will or shall plus subject plus have plus V3. So V, it is not that, it is V3, typing error. V3, that is past participle, followed by the object plus interrogative, that is question mark. Will you have learned the lesson? Active voice. How to convert? First we have to use the will plus object lesson, then have been, then followed by V3, then the preposition by, then use that you will remain as you in the passive form. So here subject, if you are using you, that will be remain as it is in the passive form. You becomes you in the passive too. So this is the example for future perfect interrogative sentence. It's very important that we have to follow, we have to keep in our mind that the following tenses which we cannot be converted to passive form. So there are 12 tenses. Among 12, only 8 can be done to passive form. First one, that is present perfect continuous tense, we cannot make it. At the same time, past perfect continuous also we cannot. Then future continuous, that we cannot make active to passive. Then future perfect continuous also. So we keep in our mind that 8 sentences or 8 tenses that can be converted from active to passive. These 4 can't be converted to active. It's very important that we have to keep in our mind. So dear viewers, I hope that I clarified and I have completed all kinds of tenses with examples and rules and regulations and structures. I know we have seen positive, negative, interrogative, etc. So among 8 tenses, if you feel any doubts or if you are finding difficulty to learn those tenses, please you can start to shoot your questions to the following IDs. So you can contact WhatsApp, or you can mail, or you can contact me in Facebook or Instagram, or you can directly comment in the comment box in the YouTube, that is St. Joseph Tutor channel. So thank you all. I hope that you learned active voice and passive voice. I'm sure you know what are the tenses that can be converted, that can be possible to make active to passive, what are the rules that we have to apply, in what are the circumstances that we have to use passive form, and what will be the structure for each and every tenses that we have discussed in detail. So with this satisfaction, let me end up my session. I shall come to the next session shortly. So thank you all. Have a good day. God bless you all.